How's it going? This is my video log for the, oh man, what day is it? For the 29th, September 29th. It's 5:34 p.m. on Friday. September 29, 2023. This is where I am. So, there's my 160,000 people, 400 by 400, and there's my progress with the rainbow. Those are slivers of 20 people across, which is pretty cool. Those are people. And it's staggered. And it's staggered. So that when you're standing back, looking at the entire 160,000, you can see the individual rows. So you can see the individual people, and then you see how wide it is, that it's 20 across, and that's 20. So if you can wrap your head around 20, and you can see 20 inside of 60,000, then you can wrap your head around 60,000. There's a word that I should come up with relating to the concept of understanding the whole by understanding the individual parts and stringing them together. That's how you can conceptualize time and space, but also bigger concepts like philosophical and political, religious concepts. You know, if you're trying to convince somebody that it should be illegal for a girl to get an abortion, you could string all these basic philosophical concepts that put together mean what you're saying. Because then people can argue with facts. And it's the same concept with understanding small versus big numbers by connecting all of them. All right, yeah. So, anyway, so I'm 1/12 of the way through, because 25 down, I'm 25 down. That's 25, as you can see. Well, it's all numbered here, but I have them all colored, but the final one that I did was the 25th, as you can see, 25. And so these boxes are 50. So I did half of a box. So that's halfway down a box. So I'm 1/4 of the way down to here. And then I only have to do half for 4. So that's the equivalent of 2. And then 2 more boxes. So I'm 1/8 of the way through here with equivalent of 2 more. So I'm 1/12 of the way through. And if it's Friday and I started on Monday, so if you assume 25 a week, that's 4 weeks, which is too long, but I'm not gonna, by Sunday I'll be doing more. And I started off really slowly, which is an interesting thing that happens. Whenever I do a new project, it takes a couple of days for me to get the rhythm down. And it's interesting because once I get the rhythm, I'm like, well, why wasn't I doing this in the beginning? Because it's so much faster. Just don't realize. Like before, I was kind of doing them individually, but it's much faster. You can right click, copy paste all on a line, just go down, and then you go and number them. Like I was pasting them and then numbering it individually, but no, you number them all. In fact, for the last couple thousand or something, I haven't even numbered, because I do intend on numbering them, because it's 400 across, so 1 to 400 on each of them, because there's a lot of different things that you can do for this. The main reason I built it was to be able to conceptualize all the different numbers, because the idea is if you're looking at it all in one screen on Flickr, and you can see with your eyes when one of those 20s is missing. So you can see it in increments of 20. So then you just, it's 6,000 different ones, but from 160 to 120,000, but you can, to 40,000, but you can, in increments of 20, but you can, you can see that and put it as a side, as a representative of the number. But then another thing that you can do with this, because it's like, it's 3D, it's 2 meters tall, meter across, real size of people, real space across, is recreate battles. I have all the different battles. Yeah, I have all the different battles of history on Google Earth, and a lot of them I have the battle. In fact, all of them I think that you can. I have the battle of the diagram of it on Google Earth. You can download it now, based on its actual location, with the actual size. And so all I have to do, if I was going to recreate it on this thing, look at the image and look at the different maniples and groups of different people, and just identify how many they are. And I can just go on this thing and with my little line and just trace out the different battles, like all at once, just trace them, and then come later and with the numbers just delete everything that's not the battle, and there's your battle in 3D right there on the battlefield. And you can do all of them right there, so then you can compare them all in the location. A good way to learn the battle. And then you could actually copy it and then paste it onto its actual location and its actual size, so that you actually see the actual layout of the battle in the way that I made it, more realistically than not showing the individual people like in the Wikipedia drawings. It's not going to be 3D, but it's good enough. So, but to have it 3D on here, it'll look really cool. So I want to build things around it, like lines around the edges to show how big it is, and maybe even, not for the screen captures, but for the world, put buildings around it and do lots of different visuals looking over it and all the people. So that's what I started up to with that. I took 2 days off of doing videos because I was frustrated with how slowly I was going. Now I finally hit the groove. There's a few things you have to get used to. You have to get used to the actual job of it, so it doesn't kind of stress you out because it's new, and then you get used to it, so then you can just do it, and then you do the rhythm. So you need to make some rhythm in the technique with being used to it. You can just zoom through better. And so I was listening to Momsen, but I'm listening to Momsen over and over again because kind of accidentally, because I'm listening to it with both my computer and my phone and not paying 100% attention to it, because I'm paying attention to this. I'm kind of daydreaming, smoking a lot of weed. So I'm kind of accidentally listening to like entire books over and over again, multiple times. And then when I hear something interesting, I would then listen to the article on Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is fucking great. Especially when it comes to history. For Roman history. So, on everything, but Roman history, yeah, I love listening to it. So, it's just one of those things I'm taking my time with. Momsen is like the best book ever. The thing is jam-packed with so much freaking information that I'm just like, oh man, I gotta plug this in to my website and the Google Earth, because like he mentions the price of everything. He's got the exchange rate. He knows and all the time, and numbers of people, like all the time. He knows how much everybody's making at any given moment. It's crazy. So to plug that all in is going to be really illuminating. Somebody asked me a question, and I think I'll turn it into an actual video, but they're like, why are men? I think he meant people suddenly interested in Roman history right now, and I'll do the video, but the reason is because, Rome is by far, like 100 times more, at least, more information about Rome than anywhere else. And so if you want to kind of, how you can back engineer things, like the scientists back engineer the alien spaceship, or the Romans find a Carthaginian boat on the beach and they back engineer it, or the Chinese back engineer our computers and stuff like that. you can like design something to be exactly like you want, like my website, or with like CRISPR, or genetic engineering, recreate the mammoths and all of that kind of stuff. Well, you can, and then figure out exactly what creates what and connect it all. You know how they map the entire DNA of the fruit fly. Well, you can do the same thing with human history and politics and psychology, because we have so much. We have enough information about Rome that you can attach every single thing to a cause and effect. So you can, like the fall of Roman Empire, the fall of Roman Republic, you can actually attach certain actions that brought it one step closer to falling, and also certain actions that brought it one step closer to getting stronger. And so you just plug all those ingredients in the same way that you would, like in a functioning like automobile, like an engineer. You can be a societal engineer with Roman history, and nobody's done it yet. So that's basically the whole point of my website, is to be able to explain history and concepts and try to get people to go along with you with political policy, and knowledge, and kind of make consensual reality for everybody. We all live in the same freaking parallel universe. You do that by teaching everybody to just base all of their opinions and everything on actual facts that are actual, that you can then point back. So, for example, if I say, the ancient philosophers have always said so and so, you can go, well, look, right there, right there, right there, So, because we're all, I didn't know how popular, how like socially powerful the president was. And then Donald Trump becomes president, and everybody's like talking with their hands, like with a dyed red hair and MAGA hats, and talking like, it's like accidentally and on purpose, just like a trendsetter. And so if you get a moron on president, everybody's going to be a moron. And so it's important that in order to not get a moron in president, it's important to make sure that everybody's smart, so that if you get some random person, that person's more likely to be smart. So that's why I'm designing a website that you can actually, it'll help make it societally acceptable and expected to give backup to what you say and know exactly where that is. So, because I've been listening to a lot of interesting stuff, and the way that I do it is I would like listen to history, and then when I want to make the link to it, I would just do word searches over and over again to try to find it. And if I can't find it, then I will just listen to that book again, or the article or the book, because there's interesting stuff, and I don't even know where to find it. A lot of times you can't do the word search. Like a lot of times you don't even remember the book. Like there is this book, I have no fucking idea what book it was. They're talking about some woman in the like thousands of years ago in Eastern Europe. She used to cripple her slaves so they would make better lovers. I was like, Jesus. And then what else? There was a consul who was 2 feet tall. There's another consul, Cato, who knew the exact names of all of the different citizens in the Republic, and there were 220,000 people living in the city at the time. There was one guy around the same time, I think he was a consul, who would walk around with his shirt off, because Romulus would walk around with his shirt off. I didn't even know Romulus walked around with his shirt off. And then there was a rule back in the Republic that if a slave saw his master having sex with somebody other than his wife, he was allowed to tie his master to the bed and call the cops. And I'm like, what? I looked for that. I couldn't find it. That was in Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. And what else? Just lots of interesting little tidbits like that. There was some more too. Whatever. If you read Pliny, you're going to hear lots of interesting stuff. Like Pliny said that there's a couple. Like he said that every single generation that people were getting smaller, because in ancient times people were bigger and better, and that's actually true. Cro-Magnons are bigger and have bigger heads than us, because they had to live in a world where they had to think on their feet more, less specialized. But but Pliny mentioned that, and he said that there were some remnants of like ancient giants. There was a couple, a man and a woman, and he even had a name for them. And they were generals, both of them, the man and the woman, were generals in a war in Syria. And when they died, they were stuffed and put inside of Scipio's private house museum. They had a museum in Rome that was like Scipio's house, and because they were 8 feet tall, and he said that they were there now, like as in anybody could go and see them, like he'd seen them. It's like, wow, because he was like a scientist, you know. So like, is that true, you know? So anyways, all kinds of weird stuff like that you'll see, and if you want to see it, like in and like Momsen, he mentioned the exact dates of the arrival of like everything, like all the different orders, elephants, and Pliny mentioned at one point they brought a bunch of elements over to, I guess it was the ones that captured from like Hannibal or something, and so they're like a bunch of elephants walking around Rome, just wild elephants. People were like treating them really bad because they didn't like them because they were trampling, and they eventually got like nobody was taking care of them, so they eventually all died. But that's kind of interesting. Anyway, when I got up, my Savannah monitor was up, but then he ran down. I'm gonna go get some more bugs for him today. I think he needs some more bugs. It's been a while since I got some. So anyways, that's enough talking. I didn't do the video for 2 days. So yeah, day before yesterday, 27th, because it's 29th. I went into the court and saw my mom because she had a restraining order against me. She tells the judge, that I'm allowed to call her, but I can't hang out with her at her house. I guess forever, without supervision. And I'm like, so then we went out to Dot's Diner after that. I'm like, who's gonna supervise? What the hell are you talking about? She's like, I don't know. So I think what's going on is she has like a finger on her ear. She has to get surgery, and then she has to wait like next week, and then she has to wait 6 weeks. So she doesn't want to deal with me for the 6 weeks of waiting. And she's been watching my videos, and she knows that I need to finish this thing. So I think we're just going to take more time off until I'm done with this for another 6 weeks, and she's recovered, and then we'll see what's going on. But I don't know. I think she has to go to the judge or something to change it. Because I sent her some texts because I was all pissed off at her, and she decided to like retaliate against me. But I was in there, and I'm like, do you remember like why I got mad? I'm like, because you said, I go, because you said your brothers would respect you if you made money. She's like, I don't remember that. I'm like, and she goes, but it's true. And I'm like, well, there you go. And then she goes, right. And then she gets up, she goes, yeah, I'm toxic. So she admitted it. So, and I'm trying to do a video with Paula on YouTube, but she's always like got stuff going on. So I don't think she really wants to. She thinks she's ugly. She's like 54 now, but I don't think she does. Yeah, I just woke up. I was like sleeping all day long. I'm going to smoke a bunch of weed. I'm like totally sober. I was working, and then I had to do like the final 25. And I didn't want to do the video until I got to the 25. That's kind of like why I took 2 days off and everything. I was kind of frustrated. So anyways, I'm going to bust ass now. I'm doing really well. I'm doing Momsen. And all the different articles and interested. So I think I'm on a good clip. On Monday, I'll do my taxes. I have until the 8th of October. Yeah, I'll do the taxes and catch up. Also, I got kind of behind because I had to fix my cage and stuff. My ferrets were biting through my hoses, so I had to buy new hoses for my fogger for my reptile. And then I put a bunch of duct tape around it so he couldn't bite through the hose, the new hose. And he saw there was water coming through, because of the fogger. So he bit through the duct tape. And he's just going, and I'm hearing it pop. He's like, like a puncture. He's just popping his teeth through the freaking thing. And I'm like, man, I should have done more duct tape. So I have to go and do like this much freaking duct tape around it so that they can't pop through and create leaks. Ferrets, man. Anyway, So that took some time, and then hanging out with my mom, doing the court, and then going to breakfast took some time. So, yeah, I'm just trying to catch up. So, I'll do my taxes and house stuff as quick as I can on Monday, and then, yeah, hopefully by the end of next week, yeah, I'll have a good idea of how long it'll take to get through this. So, and I didn't calculate how many days it was to do the first tracing, but this stuff I think maybe a little bit faster. I don't know, but it's around the same. So. And it was like a couple of months, so this is like a project, at least like another month. But I'm happy with with how it looks. I think it's going to be really useful. Ooh, did you hear that? My stomach just rumbled. I'm hungry. I have stomach hunger pangs. Haven't really eaten anything. I'm gonna go have a couple salads right now. I think some like vegetable soup. Hey, there's my little ferret. Want to say hi to my fairy? Hey, little guy. This one's Frizzle. He likes to follow me about. Yeah. Uh-huh. Ferrets are cute, aren't they? Uh-huh. They like to look outside the deck. Anyways. Alrighty, I will talk to you tomorrow.